All right, so the goal for this video is I am going to walk you through on how to use Microsoft Visio Professional. The version that I have is a little bit different than the 2019 version. However, the things remain the same. Now, this software, which is Microsoft Visio, is the most common software you would find on the job. So you can use this software for creating wireframes, screen mockups. You can also use this for creating UML diagrams, like use case diagrams, activity diagrams, state diagrams. So I hope this video helps you, walking you through each step that we take to perform or to create the wireframes and the UML diagrams. Thank you.
File. Onto the top, it says File. We go to, File, and then we go to New. For everyone.
I'm not unable to click on anything.
All right, I'll help you. So you go to File, you go to New, then you go to Software and Database. Everyone's following me? File, New, Software and Database. And then you want to go to Windows XP User Interface, US Units. Froze. You should not. Cannot quit Visio because the dialog box is active. Switch to Visio first to close the dialog box.
This one? I minimize
Thanks. That's what, yeah. Now, Arjun, you would see some different options.
No, I installed R7.
Okay,
It stays the same.
perfect.
Same.
Oh, I know. So I know now what to do. You go to next here, and you select this option.
I like that.
Okay. And then easier out is software and database,
Right here, then I can-
and Windows user interface.
Once you know the.
All right. So now, this is the place where we end up creating wireframes. It's not a great user interface that we had for Xjor, but nonetheless, it does the job. So the very first thing we do is we want to create a blank form. So if you see there's an option of a blank form. So you drag the blank form inside. And you want to expand the height. Now, you want to expand the height and width of this, so you can make it a little bit bigger. That's good enough. Another thing we can do is the magnification of your page should be set at 67% by default, or whatever it is. You want to make it 100% so you can see that properly, the magnification on the top. So yeah, so as long as you can see properly, that's all I care. So it doesn't matter. So you can make it 75, you can make it 100, whatever works for you, so you can see that properly without stretching your eyes. All right, now the name of the page I want to create is new user registration. So let us double click on that form. And when you double click on that form, you'll be able to change the title of the form. If you double click on that, for the form title, we want to type in new user registration. New user registration. Good? All right. Now, let's get out of there. Click outside on the form to get out of that field. Good. Deepa, can you make it 100% so I can even see it properly? Thank you. Okay, good. Now the next thing you want to do is, I want to lock the form so it does not keep moving. Remember in Azure we locked the base as well. So in order for us to lock this, I do a right click on the form. You would not find an icon like we did. So you do a right click on the blank form, not outside. You do a right click on the form, you go to format, you go to protection, and then you get a pop-up. You want to check the X and Y position. X position and Y position. So what are we trying to say is I don't want this to move X axis or Y axis. It's going to lock it for you. And if you click on OK, it's going to lock the form for you. It's not going to move now.
It's all raising.
Huh?
It's all raising.
Done? Now, the most painful part of Visio, I want all of you to be attentive here. If I had to type in Azure, if I want to type user ID, password, what would I do in Azure? I would simply drag a label and start typing. In Visio, there is nothing like a label. I want all of you to see what we do, what I see. What you see the top ribbon where you see the 100% magnification. If you go to 4 places left to that, you see a pointer icon. You see a mouse pointer icon currently. The pointer icon, one above on the left. Yeah. So when you are in the drawing mode, you are always in the pointer tool. That is called the pointer tool. When you are in the drawing mode, you always remain in pointer tool. If you have to type something, you go 2 places to the right. You're going to see an A on the right side, 2 places to the right of that. So you click on the A. The moment you click on the A, and then you come down into the blank form. And let's say you want to type a user ID. So you create a box with your mouse, right there. You create a box with your mouse, right there, Deepa. You create a box like that, perfect. And inside that, you want to type in user ID. So you're now creating a space for you to type user ID. So you type in user ID. You start typing user ID. Don't worry about it being not aligned properly or anything. Just type, and then I'll teach you how to align it properly. User ID. Then, if I have to type password, I create another box underneath user ID, and I type in password. No, you already are in the text tools. You do not have to keep changing. So you create another box underneath that, and you type, and you create a little bit wider so you can get some space. And you type in password. Let it be in 2 lines. I'll teach you how to make it in 1 line because you did not create wide enough the box. We want to create 1 more line, and we want to underneath password. I want to type in account type. Deepa, let's get out of that box and create another one and make a wider box.
The account type?
Account type. Then I go underneath that and I ask the question, security question. The label is security question. I go underneath that, create another box, security answer. And that's about it. Now, we'll give a minute for everyone to catch up, and then I'll move on. Deepa, don't do anything. I'll teach you what needs to be done. Done, everyone? Now, see, she has password in 2 different lines, and all of you would have the same, right? Now, if you try to change or move it into one line, it does not do anything. It does not behave. The problem with that is you are in the text tool. So all I'm trying to make you understand and realize is, while you are in the text tool, you can only type. You cannot do anything else. So an important thing is the moment you finish typing, you go back to the pointer tool. So you click on that pointer tool again, and then your life becomes a lot better. You take your mouse down, you do a left click on password, it will get highlighted, and then you stretch it into one single line. You do, and you can move wherever you want. You do the same for account type. You can align it properly. You can make it in one single line. Deepa, you already are in the pointer tool, so you don't have to keep going back and again. You just want to expand it on the right side using the right center right icon into one single line. You want to stretch it, not that way, the other way, horizontally. All right. Are you all doing okay? So now the next thing needs to be done is I've created the text. Now I want to add the UI elements against that. So if you go to the left side, we are currently in the window which says Windows and Dialogues on the left side. I want to go into the top tab which says Common Controls. So if you click on Common Controls, that's where you see all the UI elements that we use. So user ID and password, I want them to be text box. So if you see text box single line, second column, 4th row. So you want to drag and drop against user ID and password, text box single line. Now, you want to do the same for password. Again, you want to drag. Right. Now, with Visio, it says enter text inside the text box by default. So it should be blank. So you want to double click and delete enter text from there. Then account type. I want 2 radio button options, checking and saving. So if you drag radio button, there's a radio button on in the second row. So you drag it, and where it says option 1, you type in checking. You double click option 1. So the options are checking and saving.
Exactly what we did in short.
Correct. But this is a software which is used a lot at work. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what is the problem that you see here with radio button? Do you see any problem with radio button? They both are selected. My wireframe should always show me the default versions. And my default requirement is none of them is selected. So I can deselect them. Let us see how to do that. So I want you to, Deepa, I want you to do a left click on checking radio button. Just a left click on the checking radio button inside the wireframe so that it gets highlighted. Go. Just a left click, not a right click. Get out of there. Just a left click like you did first. So it gets highlighted. There you go. Perfect. So now I highlighted this. So it gets selected. Everyone done that? Now I do a right click on this. With it being selected, I do a right click. Now you see there's the option of select radio button checked. I want that to be unchecked. So it's going to remove the check from there. Again, you do the same. Right. So my default version is none of them is checked. Now security question, I want that to be a drop down. You need help, Kathy? Now drop down is displayed as a combo box here. If you see combo box, it is in the 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So you want to put that against that. And we want to remove enter text from there. It should be blank. No, double click. And then security answer is a text box once again. So it's a text box single line. And we want to remove enter text from there. All right. Then I want to add a checkbox underneath. And I want to say agree to terms and conditions checkbox. I want to add a agree to terms and conditions checkbox underneath. And now my default requirement is that should be unchecked. So you do a right click on it, and then you want to select the option of unselected. And then I want to add 2 command buttons underneath, one which says register, the other which says cancel. Command button. Cancel. Register and cancel, 2 buttons.
If there is something you need to delete completely,
Select that and press delete on your keyboard. It will be deleted.
it deletes the text in there before the thing to I'm just trying to align and it squeezes one over the other. And I was just trying to align this. Okay, even like just like all the doesn't matter. Okay.
All right, so let's save this as a new user registration wireframe. File save as, you can save it wherever you want. Yes.
Save type, right?
Save as. Mm-hmm.
It's a new registration.
Yeah. All right. So now we want to create an activity diagram. So I'll show you how to create one using Visio. So you go again, we'll open up a new file. So you go on to the top, it says File, New, Software and Database. And then you want to select the option of UML, Model, Diagram, US Units. File,
New file.
File, New, Software and Database. And then you go to UML, Model, Diagram, US Units. Huh? Yeah, then but it works almost the same time. You won't see anything different. Got it? So now you would see a window here which says Model Explorer on the left side at the bottom. We want to close that. We don't use that window, so we can close that Model Explorer window. Now, if I want to create an activity diagram, the first tab on the left says UML activity. So the moment you do that, you're going to see all the elements that we use for creating an activity diagram. Now we want to magnify to 100% on the top so we can see that properly, the page. And 100 is good. Deepa, let's just do 100. 200 is an overboard and it won't be good. So, and we go to the top of the page. So you want to scroll to the top of the page. On that page, right? There's a scroll bar on the right side. So you can. Perfect. So now, if I want to draw an activity diagram, I start with a start point. So there is something called initial state on the left side. If you see initial, you want to keep that on the top in the center of your page. Top and in the center of your page. Good. Then underneath that, I want to add an activity. So you can either select the option of an action state or a state. So you drag either action state or state and you want to put it underneath the dot. And you want to give some space in between because if you ever do connect an arrow. So yes. And then you start typing user enters login data. You'll have to double click and open and type it. User enters login data. So I'm just giving you a shorter version of a diagram. Now, yesterday I taught you how to create one, so you can go home and practice on the entire login activity diagram. User, not there, on the top where it says name. Deepa, you want to type on the top where it says name. Yes. User enters login data. And then you click on OK. And then you want to connect the start point with the activity with the help of a control flow. So if you drag the control flow inside, the tail of the flow goes to the start point, the head goes to the activity. Now, yes, if you connect the head, if you drag the head to the activity in the center, now you see the moment she connects, you see a red dot. The moment you connect, you see a red dot here and here. That's called a glue point. It's called a glue point. Every time you connect, you'll see a red dot. The moment, Deepa, can you connect that arrow once again? Something like this. Okay, all right. You can delete that. No, this is fine. So what is a glue point? A glue point is, if you move the activity now, the arrow is glued to that. So it's going to move along with that. If you connect to any other point where you don't see a red dot, it means it's not properly connected. So you want to connect it on the glue points. And what are the glue points? You see the small axis, the small glue axis you see on the activity? They're all your glue points. You can connect. Those are all the places where you could connect. All right, underneath this, I'm going to add a decision. So I put a decision. And unfortunately, the problem with Visio is if you double click the decision and if you type inside, it does not show outside. It does not show that. So if you want to type a question in decision, you have to go to the text tool, the A. And you want to create a box on the right side of the decision and you want to write the question. The question we write is the login data valid? No, Deepa, so it won't display. That's the problem with Visio. If you type inside, it's not going to display. So for the decision, you want to close this box. You go on to the top to the text tool, the text mode, like we create the text. Remember, Deepa, in wireframe we created text. You see the pointer tool on the top? Next, two places to the right, there is a text tool. The A. So you select the text tool and you create a box on the right side of the decision. On the right of the decision, you create a big box and you write the question, is the login data valid? Correct. That's your question. Now, the very next thing you want to do once you finish typing the question is, you want to go back to the pointer tool. Correct. And then you want to align the text that you wrote and move it as close as you can to the decision on the right side. So it remains connected to the decision on the right side. Good. Everyone was able to do this? No. All right, I can come and help. How many no's? One.
Okay.
That's fine, as long as you created a box. It's not matter. So, which box? Do you know what to do? So what do you know? You type the question. And the moment you're done typing questions, go back to the point. Okay. Thank you. So we have the login data valid. And then what do you do? Go back to the pointer. No, no. Oh, I know what you were wanting now. So Deepa, that arrow is wrong, right? That arrow is wrong, which comes out of the decision. Is the login data valid? No, not that one. The other one on the right side. Yeah, delete that. You just have to press delete on the keyboard. No, so that's the wrong arrow. Don't create that. Press delete on the keyboard once. Good. Easy. With that arrow being highlighted, you simply press delete on the keyboard and it's going to delete that arrow. All right. Can you move is the login data valid? Can you move the text a little bit closer to the decision? Because that's the question you're asking in the decision. Right now it feels awful. Good. Okay. Next, underneath the decision, I want to add an activity. And I write down in the activity, user is able to log in successfully. So it's either action state or state. Give it some space. Take it a little bit down. Okay. You want to type in user is able to log in successfully. And then you want to connect the arrow from decision to that activity. And then you, underneath that activity, you want to put an endpoint. So which is the final state. Wait. So the arrow that we just created out of the decision has to say a yes. So we double click on that arrow that came out of the decision. You see there's a checkbox called guard. So you check the checkbox which says guard, G-U-A-R-D. And underneath that there's a body text box. In the body you want to type yes, Y-E-S. And you click OK. So it's going to show that. If you move the activity a little bit down, you'll be able to see that a little bit properly. Deepa, you have activity too close to the decision. Good. Good enough. All right. Everyone, good. And then underneath that activity, I want an endpoint, which is your final state. So you connect that activity, you add that and you connect that with a control flow. Now, the no scenario is the login data valid. So on the left of the decision, I want to add another activity which will say system displays error message. So we'll add another activity on the left of the decision, somewhere around there. Yeah, right there. And it says system displays error message. And you want to connect that with a control flow, and that control flow should say no. So you want to check the guard checkbox, and you want to type a no underneath. The only thing which remains is I want an arrow to connect from system displays error message to user enters login data. So I connect an arrow from system displays error message to user enters login data. Yeah, from there to user enters login data. The opposite, the other way. So the tail goes to, so it goes from, it's, yeah, like that. So you want to connect in the center on the top, you are at the right place, go down. The tail, drag the tail, yeah, drag the tail in the center of that, where you see a dot. Yeah, drag it down. In the center of that activity, Deepa, there is a small X. The tail, yeah, there, you want to connect there. You're moving the activity, Deepa, you should move the arrow, not the activity. Right, so that you are at the right place. Yes, so you drag it into the center of the other activity at the bottom, on the top of that. Yeah, there. You drag that and connect it. Keep going until you, there you go. So now when you've created this, it looks at a 45 degree. I want to make it a 90 degree. So you do a right click on this arrow, the slanted arrow. You do a right click on it. Right click, not double click. You have to select, you select the arrow first. Do a left click to select the, highlight the arrow. Do a right click and select the option of right angle connector. So it's going to make it 90 degrees. All right. Now, the last thing I want to do is I want to show you how to align this. So you can do two kinds of alignments, vertical and horizontal. So the very first thing is we'll do vertical alignment. So I want to first highlight all the activities and decisions and start point and end point which are in one vertical direction. So let's, with using the mouse, we want to highlight, we want to create a box which selects all the elements in one vertical direction. Can you try doing that, Deepa? You want to create a box from top to bottom. Not from there, yeah, from there. From the, yep, from the start point, correct. With your mouse, you try to, or you keep the control key pressed and you select all the elements. So you keep your control key pressed and you select all the elements in one direction. There you go. Then you go down to the decision, do a control Z. Control Z. Control Z is undo. Deepa, just follow what I'm saying. I'm asking you to do Control Z. Press Control and Z together on your keyboard. It will undo what you did. One more time. Press Control Z one more time. Go on the top where it says Edit. Go on to the top where it says Edit. Say, okay, you don't have undo option. Do you see my name in the participant box? If you see, do a right click on my name and you say pass on keyboard and mouse control. You say pass keyboard and mouse control. There should be a participant window and you want to pass keyboard and mouse control to me. On the right side, Deepa, you should see a participant window on WebEx. All right, that's fine. Don't worry. So I'll teach you people in the class on how to align. So I want you to select all the elements. So Deepa, can you only do what I ask you to do and not do anything else, please? So you keep one hand on your control key on the keyboard. You want to select the decision box. You click on the decision box. Then you click on the activity underneath the decision box. Then you click on the final endpoint. Then you click on the arrows in that direction. So you click on the arrow that is one arrow above that. Click on that arrow. Correct. You click on that arrow. Then you click on the other arrow that comes out of the decision box. Yeah, that arrow. Both the arrows that are connected to the decision. There you go. Perfect. Don't do anything else now. Are you all selected? All this should be highlighted in purple. Then you go on to the top which says shape. Onto the top, file, edit, insert, go to shape on the top. Shape onto the top. Shape, file, edit, view. You see the menu? There's a shape on the right side. The third from the right. You go to align shapes. And then you want to align. You go to the second row. You see how aligning is on vertical with everything in the center? Second row, second row. That's the first row. The other one down. Deepa? Yeah, we want to align everything in one vertical direction. So you highlight that and you click on OK. So that aligns everything in one direction.
The top middle.
Because you've not selected everything.
No, I selected. Everything was perfect.
How does Visio did not do that for you?
I don't know.
Because you selected everything.
I selected everything.
You don't select everything. You want to only align one direction. Aligning that direction.
Previously, it's selected.
Okay. Can you go? Now, I'm sorry. Control. Yeah. See, what you done? You selected that's not the, you want to select one vertical direction that you want to align. It's already aligned. My arrow is like because you can only align either horizontally or vertically. You want to select one direction. Now what I've done is I've selected this arrow which I have. Click on the control, click on the command key. Okay. So what you do is you're only selecting one vertical direction. That's all. Alright, so one vertical direction, right? Then you go to shapes. Line shape. Want to align like this. This is the line. Now, no, no, just check that's all. Okay, now everything has to be selected. Okay. So now we want to select horizontal elements. So there are 3 horizontal elements. I want to keep the decision box selected. Click out of that, Deepa. Just the decision box. So click on the decision box only again. All right, let's click outside and deselect everything. So let's just click outside somewhere. There you go. Now I want to select the decision box. So you click on the decision box. Just the decision box, no other arrows. Now on the left side, you see that box, system displays error message. With your control key, you want to select that. And the arrow that connects the decision to that, you want to select that, the no arrow. The no, not that arrow. Yeah. Now we go to shape, align shapes, and now we want to select horizontal alignment. The one above. That is vertical. Yeah, now we want to do horizontal. So we select.
Is this alignment only for the boxes that are connected with the arrows just to give it a
Exactly. So it does not. Yeah, because you can do that. You can align it with arrows. I'll help. I know what you're telling. And you click on OK. You select that, and you click on OK. So that will get aligned. So you want it to this, right?
Yeah, I mean, first I would select the bottom, but we just select the center part and align it with the vertical.
Right.
And then when we will select the horizontal, the text can be.
Yeah, because you can just move it. Yeah.
The alignment is only for whatever was connected by the arrow, right?
All right, anyone has questions on alignment? Thank you. Let's save this. Let's save it as login activity diagram. That's how you would create an activity diagram. Save as login activity diagram. That's good. It's fine. Just save it. And now we want to show you how to create a use case diagram. So you go to File onto the top, again the same way. File, New, Software and Database, Windows XP User Interface. Oh, no, UML Model Diagram, US Units. So you go to UML Model Diagram, US Units. File, New, Software and Database, UML Model Diagram, US Units. Again, we'll close Model Explorer. We make it 100%. Now, On the left side where you see all the elements, if you go to extreme bottom, at the extreme bottom you'll see something called UML use case. So I want you to open that up. UML use case. So now, the very first thing I do is I create a system boundary. So you drag the boundary inside.
Okay. So, yeah, well, sometimes it happens in bank. I was just surprised that like was everyone able to see it. You want to know.
So let's drag the system boundary inside, and we give the name of the boundary as ATM.
Where we have to drag the boundary? I'm sorry.
On the left side, you see UML use case. There is system boundary inside, and then the UML use case. All the elements, icons. You have the toolbox on the left side. You go down, 4th row, 2nd column. And we want to give the name of the boundary as ATM.
What?
ATM.
Okay.
I'm muting you, Deepa. There's a lot of static, so just unmute with your questions. Yeah, I'm muted now. All right. We'll add a couple of use cases inside. You can not find what? All right. So we'll add use cases inside. So the first use case we'll drag use case is login. And it could be anywhere. It has to be inside the boundary. That's the rule. Login. So you double click and you write down the name login. All right. Then we'll add another use case, deposit funds.
It's not letting me type. It's not the use case.
You double click and open up.
No, it's not.
I just took the drawing and created it. All right, so the first is login, then deposit funds, then we'll have withdraw funds, and then print receipt. We'll have 4 use cases. Print receipt.
When this box pops up where we are writing the name, right under there is a documentation. What is it used for anything?
I've never used that. All right. Now, never a good idea to have your use cases in one vertical direction in a use case diagram. Why? Because we end up creating relationships between them, so arrows will go from one use case to the other. So they should always be staggered and not be in one vertical direction. So let us just stagger them, and there's no logic as to how I stagger. There could be any random way you can stagger them. Perfect. Now, I'm going to add an actor outside the boundary, and I'm going to name the actor as bank customer. So to create an actor outside the boundary and name as bank customer. Next, I want to connect the actor with the use cases. There is an arrow, there is a line or an arrow called communicates. Communicates. So you drag that inside. You connect one end to the hand of the actor, there where you see a red dot onto the hand. There you go. And you drag the other end to login use case. So you want to connect the actor to all the use cases one at a time. So every time you want to connect, you drag an arrow and you connect. So you drag another line and you connect the actor to the other use case. So connect the actor with all the 4 use cases. Communicates arrow. Correct.
It says like N1, N2, N3.
It just says it. I think the newer version of Visio does not have that. All right. So I've created the connections between actors and use cases. The only thing that remains is relationship between use cases. So over here, print receipt extends withdraw funds. Print receipt extends deposit funds. So there is an extend arrow. So if you drag the extend arrow inside, the tail of it goes to print receipt, and the head of it goes to deposit funds. So print receipt extends deposit funds. I'm going to create another arrow which says print receipt extends withdraw funds. So I'll create another arrow. The tail of it goes to print receipt and the head goes to withdraw funds. Now the other relationship that we have is called includes or uses. Now this tool does not have an includes arrow, but it has uses, which is exactly the synonym of it. Now for this diagram, there is no includes relationship that exists. But for the sake of it, we'll create a relationship. We'll say deposit fund uses login. So we drag the uses arrow. We start at deposit fund. The tail goes to deposit fund, and the head goes to login. So this is the includes or uses.
Withdraw fund uses long.
Yeah, the extent, like, nothing, some of words all for me.
Yeah, the reason is they're not used to it. We just create a word. It does not recommend that. But ideally it should come. Yeah. Because the newer version, it's long. Yeah, but yeah, that you did the right thing. You have both the versions? Oh, so you get two options there. So you want to open 7 or 16? Okay, perfect. All right. So that's how you use Visio. A little bit of a painful tool, not as user friendly, but at the end of it, you end up getting used to it. The state diagram that I've asked you to create, I'm not a big fan of giving homework, so if you want, you can create using Visio. So that way you can get some practice. Now, when you save it, and if you send it to me, don't send me as a Visio file because I won't be able to open up in my laptop. So let's say if you want to save this how would you send me? So you go to File onto the top, and you say Save As, File, Save As. You give the name of the file as Use Case Diagram. And now see the type, Save As type. If you are sending me something I need to review, you don't save as drawing. You select the option of, if you open that up underneath Save As, you have an option of you have an option of couple of things. You could say JPEG, JPEG. It's a picture format. If not, underneath that there'll be PNG, portable, and then there's also a PDF option somewhere. So you could just save it as a JPEG and scan it to. If the state diagram. That's all. All right. I think that's all for today. Next Saturday, 10:30 in the morning. Before we close, all of you can go to your BA folder.
One question. After I selected JPEG,
just say OK and close it. So you open up your BA folder, and there is a folder called Video. So let's open up that folder, Video folder.
In VB?
BA folder.
Yeah, but in VB.
Underneath, no.
Just in.
You open up the BA folder. There's a folder called Videos. So I want you to open that. Everyone sees the two video files. So I want you to open them up. Not open them up. I want you to see them before you come to next Saturday's class. This is what I'm going to be teaching, and I'm making you write some questions and answers in those videos. So make sure you write down the questions and answers. The way you see those files, for people online, I'm going to email that to you. The way you want to watch those videos is you want to watch number 1 first and then number 2. Mac users may not be able to play them if you don't have the right player. You want to use VLC player for Mac. If you don't have it, yes. So you want to use VLC player for Mac to play this video. VLC. All right, I'm going to send you a few more emails for this weekend, and that should be it. Thank you.